students handle such situations?
Thank you, Prof. I understand what you mean by collecting data in your field. My field is quite different, but then the reaction is the same. Once you embark on this research journey, you should understand that it is just as any other aspect of life. Things happen that you do not want to happen. You would expect, when we wake up every morning, we expect things to go our way. But understanding life and living life, you know that it's not always that things will go your way or will go as you expect. So you must be able to make room for the unexpected. And when it comes to research, it happens a lot. I remember during my first degree at the University of Ghana, it was a film I shot. I shot the film, down to editing the film, and then on the day of submission, back in those days, they used VHS, the thing crashed. It crashed. And they are sitting there waiting for me to play the film, and it has crashed.
A very terrible experience.
Very terrible experience.
But the day you are called to present, your laptop has crashed.
Yes. So things float. Things happen. And I can't now tell the examiner that, sir, the thing has what? Crashed. I don't want to remember this. It was horrible that day. I ended up presenting rashes. In film, when we say rashes, that is the shots that you've taken, that you have not yet edited into the film. I presented the rashes, and then I presented the problem because it was on HIV. I gave my presentation on HIV and everything, presented the rashes, and told them that I will present the film because the film is presented as the last presentation in hard copy. They were staring at me.
Wow. Wow. Such an experience.
Yeah.
Professor Lapifanti, you have a similar experience. You want to share it?
For me, there are no bad outcomes in research. All what probably you need to do is reorganize yourself, refocus, stay flexible. What you have done, what you have gotten is in opposite with your objectives. So all what you need to go and do is to assign your objectives to suit the results you have gotten. That's all. That is the trick. You have a situation where Professor Faith said, if you are working for a funding agency, that is where you have the problem. Because you are restricted, they have the objective set, and you have to accomplish the objective. So you need to lie to suit, and that is ethics. You can't do that. So go and tell the agency, a funding agency, that this is the outcome of the research. If they were certified, if they were, in some cases, they have phases. And the first phase, you have been converted to second problem. If you present that problem to them as you are working, they will discontinue giving the funding. Let it go. Because you, as a researcher, you have your credibility at stake, and you need to defend your credibility all the time. So that is the situation. In the other case where you are on your own, that is where this credibility suits most. And you are me. I have never, and I don't like any funding. I do my own research, do my own research, and I get the results. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So Professor Darcy, we want to tell the issue of to stay ethical within the research process, because we had challenges where students have to try and master the data to see their objectives. Is this something we should look at? Can we share on how we stay ethical within the research?
Thank you very much, Prof. Like the earlier speakers have said, you see, the research we have said that it needs to have a destination, and the destination is to solve human problems or challenges of society. And so, ask yourself, if you conduct the research honestly, using the right methodology and all that, and you get results, and you say that you don't like those results, and so you want to get your own results that satisfies you, are you solving the problem? You are not helping society. You are massaging it rather to cause more problems to society. You are not telling society the true picture of what is happening. And so if, for any reason, industry or somebody want to take the outcome of the research to develop it further, to come out with something better, you have spoiled the whole thing. And that is a serious matter in research. You have not been honest at all. And you can kill. You can kill. You can cause more damage to society than having helped the society.
Right.
So that is a no-go area at all.
Right. Staying ethical. Staying ethical. Prof, you come in, but I wanted you to also narrow it down to on publishing, writing, academic writing. There's one thing conducting the research, having the data, and nothing publishing, because now it's a requirement that the postgraduate students must publish even before you graduate. How do we also issue students improve on academic writing and then being able to publish, also staying ethical, these issues?
This also borders on ethical issues, and as Prof was referring to something, it's not the same matter. It's similar to maybe having family. The university image abroad and all over. In fact, university students do are marketers for the university. So if you are able to write and publish a paper, your name is there and your affiliation is there. People these days in the digital things in the world, nothing is secret. I can sit here and go from Napa and know every time about this sector. And then I will also know that from Napa is associated with the AAMUSTED. So what we do is that every year, all over the world, universities are graded according to a certain ranking. So if you want your image to be high or to have a good image, where students all over the world would like to apply and come to a university, you must be honest in your research. Last week I sent something to the Vice Chancellor and I took and there was an issue about Ghana. In fact, it was bad. The person who brought it was not in Ghana here, but I was ashamed that they brought it. It's about some of our colleagues in Ghana here conducting research unethically and owing and claiming what they are not and what they think they are. See, these things are, all these days, because of this AI things, you can be fished out, and that image, you can damage your country or your institutions seriously. So students, you are doing research, and the data you collect, please don't write only the thesis and pack it off after passing that's the end of the thing. The research for PhD is not an event, it's a journey. So when you finish, or even before you finish, as I always talk to somebody sitting here, we need to research, publish out of your work for the community to benefit, so that they know you. Even if you die, you have left your name and your name. In academia, we have a saying that publish or perish. If you are a scholar and nobody knows you about anything in terms of reading about you, you don't exist. So please, right from the beginning, as you are doing research for your PhD, have in mind that you need to learn publishing. That's why we are doing academic writing here. To ensure that you are not only writing the thesis, but also you can write articles and publish for yourself, for your promotion in future, for the enabling of your university, and for your community to benefit from your research. That's one of my colleagues said. The research results must benefit the community, not just for academic exercise, putting the paper somewhere for us to be on it. No. I was telling my class one day that if you want to disseminate the research results, please go back to the community. The leaders of the community where you did this, arrange a meeting with them and disseminate. If they are talking of teenage pregnancies, which is predominant too much in the particular community, and that is where you did your research, please don't share the paper. Go to the community and talk to the seniors, the big people there, and let them know what you have done and the results, so that they will take the matter up.
Right.
And then I wanted to say something to what was said earlier. This ethical issue. Sometimes I'm working here, so I want to collect data. Now, because the students know me, oh, this is Prof. Kofi's secretary. You are not helping me. Please. That is not honest. You go to the what do you call it? Do the exact thing. Whether the questionnaire or the interview, give the proper answer. So I tell the students that if I'm collecting data from people here, whether they are students or staff or whatever, I won't do it myself. You need to engage a neutral person and stay out of it and let that neutral person collect the data and give it to you. Because you are a human being. People know you, they like you, they think they are helping you. In the long run, as Prof said, the results will not be authentic and you can even kill people out of their results. Right. So please, let's be honest.
Right. Thank you. A round of applause for our panel. Collecting data, at times your whole staff group just send a link. Be mindful of it ethically. I usually don't get a genuine response. That is what Prof is. Professor Dazi, one last contribution. I want to go back to the audience. Okay. Now, audience have opportunity to also ask questions. So please make microphones ready. We'll give opportunity to about 3 people to give our panel questions. Professor Dazi, you can make your point.
Thank you. Let me tailor the ethical thing to medication that we take and the publication matter that Prof said. You conduct research. Let's say in the medical field, they normally use rabbits. At least those of us who did biology to some level, rabbits has almost the same internal things like human beings. So that's what we normally use. They will use that. And then you say the results you had, the medication you have produced, you tested it, and it is good. Meanwhile, the rabbits, they die. Okay? Then instead of you to have reformulated the components, you decided to massage it and publish. It is out there. And an entrepreneur takes it and says that, oh, if this is good, then we have the money, we have the resources, let's produce the drug. They produce it, and people begin to die. Who has caused it? So it's a serious matter, and you don't have to take it for granted. Imagine of teenage pregnancy, it can be anything. The information you put out there, you publish, or it is in your thesis, and the thesis are published. Today, you go to university website, you find my thesis there. So they are published. If somebody picks it and decides to develop, produce something tangible out of it for human use, and you are killing people, causing damage to skin, causing damage to all manner of things. So please, this is a serious issue. Right. Don't take it for granted.
Right. Thank you very much, Prof. Thank you. So we'll take questions from the audience. The last question I want the panelists, professors to share with us the experience of facing rejection for publication from publishers. Have you faced it? Have you experienced it? How do you handle it? you submit and reject. You submit and reject. So, Professor Hoff, you want to come in? Please, the microphone. And then Professor Ade as well. Any other?
Thank you very much, Prof. I think mine will be just a comment. I'm speaking in capacity as the editor-in-chief for a Scopus journal, the African Journal of Applied Research. And I think I resonate with what most of you are saying in terms of the quality of research. And it will affect even the researchers, the lecturers who are sending papers. And as Prof indicated, my suggestion here is with the South African model, especially with students, when it comes to statistics or methodology, what I know happens at University of Johannesburg is that the students are guided by the statistical unit. The supervisor will not know everything, because there are some technical aspects of statistical issues, like what you are saying, quantitative, or whatever. So what we do is that the students go to that unit, and the unit guides them in consonant with the supervisor, agreements in it. So by the time the student finish from there, starting with the research methodology and even the questions, then you know that this is what I'm getting. I'm going to get a very good result. Then what I also observe is that even when you administer those questions, you are asked to bring those questions and those answers on to. So I flew mine from Ghana, Ghana must go back, almost about 400 questions to South Africa, to the statistical unit. Then they saw everything and also guided me. So I think we need to look at that model if that is not happening at our university here. Let us try and form a committee with statistical department and even the ComScale. We look at the editing aspect of it so that at the end of the day, when students now give it to external examiners, external examiners will not be asking questions that we are guiding them. I think that is what I just want to do.
Thank you very much, Professor we'll come in, we'll take the last one. I wanted the student, there's a professor who asked.
No, last points, we'll come in, sir. My question goes to my dean, Professor Faith. What do you mean by the feminist theory? And how is it different from transgender theory? And secondly, we need also to have a belief in ourselves. Publications by estimated returns on the informal sector labor market in the developing economy, a micro-level evidence on KU migrants and KUMASI. This was presented, it is submitted to the Department of Social Policy of the London School of Economics and Political Science for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. And Professor Dr. Stanley Martin, something, German, Pascal. He was sponsored by EU on migration on the book in Africa. When I published this, it was termed as being published in the predatory journal. But when the whole EU and the whole Professor London School of Economics is the best field university in terms of humanities, when they came down, replicated it and found that it was exactly, it was one of the best. So what I want to say is that this so-called high they were supposed to have had interest. Yesterday it was debated at length. And those who were here yesterday heard it. So it's not one way directional something. What I want to say is that it's time we have belief in our agenda, we have belief in ourselves. There was a particular journal in East Africa where we look at birds, etc. It's been bought outright by a second Western China. And it's no more in Michael. But once it was bought by people were following things that is a genuine what. Meanwhile, who are refusing to recognize actual and others. So let us believe in ourselves.
All right. Thank you very much for the call. Panelists will respond to the publication issue rejection.
Prof, I think briefly. Sometimes when we have the opportunity of assessing students' thesis and dissertation, at the moment I think that the focus could also be concentrated on their thesis and dissertation, because that is a bane, as a matter of fact, a challenge for most of the students. Maybe drawing from the pieces of contribution by our learned scholars, I get the impression that students should begin, or if they have started, maybe put in more energy in terms of academic writing. As a matter of fact, when theses are sent to you, or dissertations are sent to you, the way some of them are written, you just have to maybe brush it aside. Because you see that it's like my small knowledge in agriculture, it's like stratification of the soil. You start reading the first chapter, and you get to know that the structure, the language, expressions are different from the second chapter. Third chapter, the same thing. So you realize that it's people's work that they have copied, and sometimes they mistakenly even copy the dates and some of these things. A student came today, I was surprising her, or him. And then I decided, so nowadays what I do is that when you bring a work to me, I don't read it whilst you are not there. For that has been my policy. So if you tell me you can, then I give you some 1 hour and say, okay, sit down, let us go line by line. In the course of going through, then the student said, is that what he did? This one I would have done it better. And I said that I've used it, you're limiting your intelligence. You are doing this level of masters, and you allow somebody to stay somewhere, charge you, but this is the critical issue that must be accentuated. You see, you go there, he charges 3,000, 4,000, then writes this for you, and then without even taking a recourse to the work, reading it for, of course, we all need to, I keep on saying that even Jesus, when he was going to be crucified, he had to be helped by somebody in terms of carrying the burden of the cross. So we need that. But that's collaboration, that's linkage. So if even somebody has helped you with the statistical tools or analysis or whatever it is, literature review, sit down and read. And then understand what you are presenting. Language poor, everything not good at all, haphazardly organized. That's why it gets delayed. So if you are going to ask a question as to why you present lectures don't mark and time, it's as a consequence of the fact that when we append our signature eventually, I think it's going to be a very disgraceful to someone. That is why, Prof, I think it delayed. Yeah. So we have to hammer that point. And again, I think seminars will also help so much. I think yesterday we stressed on this particular fact that they have to come for seminar. And literature review. Literature review is not a chronicle of this one says, this one says, according to this. What are the points of departures? What are the points of similarities? So you sentences. You see, when you want to eat food, you get a plantain and here cassava. You blend the two and you get new things. That is why in the modern literature they call synthesis creation. So Otiakin said this one said this one said this. You blend and get something new. That is originality and innovativeness and creativity that we talk about in research. So it's not a question of this one said this one said this. Review, tell us maybe the findings, if you say that, methodology, tell us all the salient points that have been raised.
In fact, Professor Tia, you have taken us to the whole lesson of methodology.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to say that I graduated with Prof. only 2 years from Wood, and I was from leadership, educational. We were the first to have done the
Right. So we have a postgraduate student. That's right.
Mine is with regards to plagiarism. When you send your work for publication, and the publisher will send the whole work to you as plagiarism. And I have this experience when I have about 70% more than that plagiarism.
Right.
And the experience that when you send your thesis, you finish your PhD, and you send your thesis, we have to be mindful. Some schools, they publish your work as soon as you send to them. And I have experience, I did my PhD at Manchester Metropolitan University. There was a form, I was taking something, I didn't check well. So as soon as I sent my PhD thesis, they published it online. So in the end, when I decided to publish part of my work, the whole thing came back as plain. Even though it's my how do I do this? I have to take the whole time to do the writing. And sometimes your own English, changing it like it becomes very difficult. So please, when you submit your work, before you submit your work, you have to be mindful the time you're supposed to publish, send the thesis online. Otherwise, when you are publishing it, it becomes very, very tedious. So that's
right. Thank you.
So if there's any way,
from the panel. All right. So the final some correction here. Sorry. All right. So I'll let you, as you correct, give a final conclusion. Okay, students. I want the students. Where are the students? Okay. So
what did you just say? What you just said? Sorry, my brother. I think we need to correct it. It is not that the thesis is not good or you are plagiarized. It is the fact that maybe you fail to acknowledge that document. That is the essence of plagiarism. You ought to have, in your subsequent publication, to have acknowledged that thesis, even though it is yours. And that is why you failed, and that is why you wrote it down. Thank you. So don't be afraid of that, except that you must always ensure that that document, even though it's yours, it has been published, so you must acknowledge it any time you take anything from it. Thank you.
Right. The students, first person. The students. At this time, students.
Hello.
Yes.
Please, my name is Sanaki Joseph, MPhil Information Technology.
Right.
So, with my little experience for the first semester, I realized that thesis is a report from a research that you've already done. So, you do experimentation before you write the report, that is the thesis. But our challenge is that in IT, they are very advanced in terms of machine learning. You go and do a literature review and you notice that the kind of performance metrics that they have, 99%, we don't have the kind of computers or the GPUs to also run the same experimentation to even to write the report. So we don't know how we are going to go by that. Our little machines don't have those kind of GPUs. You can't even get 10,000 machine that has that kind of GPU. So we are limited from machine learning. You have to go to a different niche before you can even get that experimentation in the right time. So if you get that limitation, it means that you are lost. Even if you have to diverse and then get the kind of knowledge that you get. So we don't know how there's going to be an intervention in that regard.
Right. That's well noted. The next person.
Okay, thank you very much, Chairman. My name is Engineer Ismail Mohammed, a PhD student from the Construction Department. I would like to ask our panelists about the newness of our research works. When we look at the novelty, we all understand that there is nothing new under the sun, and we are not supposed to reinvent the wheel. So if I'm looking at it from the experimental side, what level of newness or novelty we are supposed to consider?
All right, so I get novelty, originality, issues in research. There's something new under the sun. So why do we always say new? There's something new under the sun. Last student, and then we are done. There's inclusivity. Is there any feedback student? Right, go ahead.
My name is Samuel of BSc Electrical and Electronics Engineering. And I want to ask, in status quo, academic pressure, societal pressure, and AI tools is what has reshaped our research journey. In this, how can we ensure the good culture of maintaining ethics and authenticity?
Right.
Balancing societal pressure.
Right. So there's pressure, AI pressure, there's societal pressure, there's academic pressure. How do we still maintain the ethics. It's the same thing we have been talking about. Newness, novelty, originality. So I want the panelists, professors, when it gets to your turn, you try to respond to these concerns and then you're concluding analyze.
I have to start. Yes, there are two people I have to respond to, especially the one with the novelty and the one who says. I think the whole issue about research is that you have to tailor it to suit your environment. You don't go and do research for. I told you, if it is you are being sponsored to do that, that's fine. But in your own environment, what is the problem? It is that you have to tailor your research to fit. So if you are complaining about equipment and whatever, didn't you see any other problem that you could solve without those equipments? This is where you have to come from innovation. Okay, and the other one was newness. In every field, in fact, what God has done was that He created, but He never finished creation. In science, He has endowed with new ideas every day. The question is, what is pertaining you in your area of research or the area you are into? That is what we are asking you to go into, so that you can exploit the new things in that area that will solve our problem. Somebody has created or manufactured aeroplane. Are you manufacturing aeroplane today? No. We are thinking about supersonic type of aeroplanes and other. We are far ahead. That is why the developed countries are ahead of us more than 100 years. Hello? We have to double up to cope up with them. So if you are still thinking about some of these things, then you go look at but your environment, look around that area and solve the problem there. Right. Pre-review rejection and post-review rejection. Hello? Pre-review rejection is one that you have not considered the scope of the journal. Right. So you just saw the journal and you just put your paper there. Why don't you with your issues there? There are no audience there. So quickly you will return. In fact, if it takes more than 24 hours, then the journal is lazy. Hello? They will quickly bring it back and tell you, look elsewhere. Then the post-review journal, that is where they have considered the scope. It is okay, but let's look into the quality of your work. Then you come and say, okay, this journal, this publication you can't publish in this journal. It is a common thing. We have gone through them all the time. So it never discourages us. Yeah. In fact, the good thing about that one is that they have given you some suggestions to make. So in order to do that,
to make it better.
Make it better and send it elsewhere.
Thank you very much. Well, the point has been made. Thank you. So, Professor, that's the final concluding as the brief.
Thank you very much. I want to say that this is a very important forum, and to talk about the rejection, I would say that it is something that has happened to every researcher, unless you don't publish. Yes, especially the post-review one. But what is good about it is what he has said. Look at the point they've raised and work them out and look for another journal that satisfies the scope, and then you send it there. The IT and others who are thinking of something so flamboyant, huge, no. Please, work within the resources available to you. This is what I said first. If you don't have the resources, why do you work in that area? So review literature also in the area very well. And look at the methodologies and see where you will have the resources to pursue it to completion.
And when journals reject your document or papers, don't be dumbfounded, but continue and remodel the whole thing, especially your introduction, to suit a new journal, and make sure that one thing too that they don't like is when you have not even cited journals, papers from their journal. That is very critical. So if you want to publish in a particular journal, get some papers from that journal and look at the style and everything and write accordingly and cite those, especially at the introduction. So when the editor reads it, then you see that you patronize the journal. Not that you just want to bring yours there. No. So this is also very critical. On that note, I want to say that I am happy for being part of this forum and the opportunity given me to be here and to contribute. Thank you all very much.
So please, any final comments?
Thank you very much. You asked about AI pressure and all of that. Personally, I have refused to encounter AI. But I can give you an example. We ran a project that is called the African Teen Authors Book Initiative. So it's an African project where we invite teen authors from across Africa to write. And then we select, it goes through a rigorous review process, we select the best and we publish 15 every year. And this year, we haven't been able to publish. When the stories came and I read the stories, I felt they were off. They didn't feel human to me. There was just that feeling that this wasn't really written by teenagers, this wasn't written by human beings. So I flagged them and sent them back that they should check. And when they were checked, they were all written by AI. So this year, African Teen Authors Book Initiative has not been able to do the work we do every year. So we've asked for them to write again. I would advise you that you should be original. You have a mind. Let it work for you.
As a matter of fact, AI is just to support you and not to do it for you. So you should know how to do it. And then it only makes your work easier.
Yes.
Right.
Let your mind work for you. Be authentic as possible. Be you. Let us see you as a researcher. Right. It's important, yes. And when it comes to feminist theory, the focus is on females and advancing, yes, female issues. Yes, I don't want to use the word.
All right. I think that's another topic in itself. Today we are looking at research for postgraduate students. Professor Kama, for what will you say finally?
I'm happy to be here, and I would like to suggest that we make it bigger than this next year.
Yeah.
And then the students who are here, please tell those who didn't come that please, next time you want to sit down. Right. I see most of you, so I know many of you are not. Please tell them I said they were not supposed to come.
They are absent.
But I'm going to mark and give them marks. Yeah, but on a very serious note, please, as you said, there's nothing new under the sun. But when examiners mark your thesis, what they want to look at is what new contribution are you making from your work? Not to say you are dismissing what is there or you are making a new thing what is there. But then, yes, the knowledge which is there is growing. So what little bit the new act? That's what they want to see. If you didn't add anything, you are written 200 pages on that. So we want to see the contribution, what is there, to growing market. I also want to ask one question. Please, if you write any article and you want to submit, look at look at the general guidelines which is provided on the online. Look at it, and that will guide you what you want. Whether you want Harvard science, or you want Chicago, or whatever, or AP. So if you just throw it in, they will bring it back. And that is what he said. It's before, what do you call it? Yeah, the editor will look at it and send it back to you. Or you have to answer it. So look at all those things. And then about the thesis. I've been seeing some of these theses and their dissertations. We need to have this into official education. So I'm going, I will suggest to Prof. Humphrey that if you don't let the editor read your thesis and give you a certificate, we are not going to accept it. Because I mean, all of sitting here, you read them and you see. The language is not good. And that's what as far as this is now consumption for the global consumption. And people will say, this university is full of grammatical errors. I would suggest that you engage an editor to read the thesis and charge you and give you a certificate.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for our panelists. Professor,
I have a quick sitting down here with the last suggestion that Professor Amafo, I think that comes straight to the doorstep of the Dean of Facts. As a suggestion, he can have an institute at his faculty, a center at his faculty, that can look at some of these things. And it is not just beauty, in fact, good. And firstly has the same responsibility, especially when it comes to data and all those things. These are some of the things. Now, Dr. Otiagi, one day we came for a thesis event, and it was someone writing on history. And the person all of a sudden added mathematics. In fact, ordinarily, the thesis should have been cancelled. Oh yes, it was history. Then while we were going to do the thesis, we saw mathematics inside. No. So, in that room, I came out with a topic, history of mathematics. And I can tell you, I went to France with a fully booked ticket, 5-star hotel, slept in a week because of that. Wow. Somebody's mistake was my success. And as I speak to you, I have my first PhD student who will be graduating next June, November. Second PhD students, November, they are all on the history of mathematical concepts on students interested in mathematics. What we are trying to say is that if I did not go to that, or I didn't have the opportunity to supervise at FEX at the time that I was called to their seminar, possibly this opportunity will come. And then I came to the realization that we need to have that inter-faculty interactions, interdisciplinary interactions that will help all of us to critically contribute, not criticizing by critiquing works from our students so that they can get the best and we can also get the best from them. On this note, I think we are really well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, panelists, and thank you, Chair. Just a quick issue. Professor Dapan talked about leveraging AI in academic institutions, and those of us who are teaching research methods will be battling with this issue. Most of the graduate students we are supervising now, when they bring their work, we can clearly see that it's AI generated. So now the question I've been asking, I've been encouraging some of them, and when you encourage them, they will confess that not even they doing it, but they give you to consultant to do it for them and they pay money.
So the question we struggle with, should we teach the students how to use AI to do research from introduction, literature review, methodology, data analysis, conclusion, or we should just close our eyes as an institution that they should not use it, but eventually they are using it. It's something that I'm struggling with.
Right.
And then the last one that I want to add has to do with the issue that I think yesterday came out this morning to Professor Boku raised it, about the publication in media that you saw. I have to make it clear that publication was false. The reason being that I have the publication here. Why the paper was retracted, it said that the paper did not follow it said that the review process was compromised. That is one. Two, there was language that was not well structured. And three, they talk about the content does not fit the scope of the journal. So this one, is it the authors that have to determine this or the editor? Because there are two things. The authors publish the paper with the journal, and the journal index it is Springer. So it is Springer who did this retraction, and not the journal. So the question is, if all these issues are up, and then the whole papers went through review process. So the question is not about the authors not being the fault, but then it's between the index, which is the Springer, and then the journal. They have their issue because they are damaging the name of the institutions. KUMASI is bad, UMAT is bad, AAMUSTED is bad. So what I want to say is that this thing that we are sharing and discussing is not the truth. Let's take our time and read the content, read the article, and again about the AI issue that we are mentioning. The paper was published in 2021. The research was done in 2020. And the paper was published in 2021. AI, large language model, started in 2022. So there's no way the authors will use AI to generate the content of that paper. So this is to make it clear about this false information. But from what we gathered, there's a political undertone. One of the authors is seeking for pro-VC position at Ghana Telecom University. And they want to find a way to bring it down. So when they saw that there was a retraction, quickly, they capitalize on that.
All right, so I think providing clarity on a specific issue, and I think Professor Pambo was generally, you should also be careful some of these things when we are sending our research work and then write articles and meetings so that we don't face some of these things. Thank you very much. So there are comments from Professor Dapa.
Just a comment on the ethical issues. So I want our students and all of us, our researchers, to go and teach ethics in research. It's a serious issue. And there are two, it is a moral issue and it's a legal issue. It's a moral issue. You as a person, what are the values that you hold? Where's your integrity? Where's your honesty? Where's your openness? Where's your trustworthiness? As a research scientist, when they portray to people, can we trust you? And instead, there are three obligations that research. Your obligation to yourself as a scientist, obligation to your colleague scientists who will be using your work, and your obligation to the public. It's a society good. Then finally, it's a legal issue. Today, you can be imprisoned. You can be imprisoned. And you can lose almost everything. So please, let's don't take the ethical issues, let's take it seriously.
Very serious. Thank you very much, Prof. Thank you. And now, a round of applause for our panelists. Thank you very much for your time. We appreciate you. Very deep information sharing. And then we see you again. Like Professor Kwabafo said, the next conference, come and make it bigger. The photograph with the
Amici, non copriamo tanto. Ah sì. Ok, ok.
Hello. Please, can we, with a round of applause, appreciate our panelists for today. I particularly enjoyed it very much, and I'm sure you also will. We are going to go for our snack break, but before that, let me take you through some few arrangements. We have just 15 minutes for our snack break, and so it is expected that by 12:30 we should be back. And when we come, we're going to put ourselves into three, just like we did yesterday. Per the official outline, we have two breaking rooms, but we are adding one just to save some time. And so these are the arrangements. For presenters, Abeko Foster, Boche, Stephen Okumen Asari, Sumaya Mohammed, you are going to the Banahin